Hello, hello! Today I wanted to share what I have been doing in my Rhodia A5 dot grid notebook because I am in the process of setting up my Jibun Techo for 2019. It starts on November 26th, I think that's next Monday, and I'm going to move my planning part that I have been doing in this notebook since the middle of September into the Jibun Techo, and also moving some of the lists out of here into the Jibun Techo. So I wanted to show you what I have been doing in this notebook so far. This is the chocolate color, and I absolutely love the color. I usually am a person who loves bright colors like teal and pink and yellow, but when I picked this on Amazon, I really loved that brown, and so I went for it. I love how the contrast, the orange elastic contrasts with it, and there it is a soft cover, which I really like. I like soft cover notebooks more than hard cover notebooks. The Rhodia sign is, I think, what is it called, embossed into the front. It feels leathery, but it is definitely not leather, and the inside is orange. I adhered a sticky pocket from Coco Daisy that I received in their September planner kit into the front page of this notebook, and I cut, there usually is a seam right here so that it is a top loading pocket. I cut that seam open so I can use it like that. I have several papers in here where I took notes that I want to include into the notebook, or receipts. What are those called? Cards from people that I might need to remember, and things I need to take action on are right in here. I cut a free printable from Love Cynthia down and stuck it right onto this page right here. However, it doesn't stick very well, so I can just remove it and reuse it. I also added this. This is what I had in my Pocket Rings planner. It was a weekly planning routine. I really like the way I have been planning, and I just stuck it down here, and I think I will remove this as well, and then put it into my Jibun Techo. I have also included a cheat sheet here when I designed the weekly spreads, so that I knew how I would have to count the squares right here, or the dots. I also color coded my kids, and so I added the colors for each of the kids right onto the front page. Now you might wonder, why did I purchase this in the first place? I actually had intended to submit an article into the Paper Planning magazine, I think that is what it's called, and I didn't have a place or space to take down notes. This might sound silly because I own tons of traveler's notebooks in various different sizes, but I had been using these kinds of notebooks all through college for note-taking during classes, and when I studied architecture and I had to take notes from books, design, put down ideas, and somehow when I thought about writing or submitting an article into this magazine, I felt like I needed something to jot down ideas, and in that size I felt the standard size traveler's notebook that I like for various different things just wasn't big enough for that. I wanted the thick paper and the smoothness of the paper so that I would be able to write with fountain pens. When I studied at university, I usually used paper or notebooks from Clairefontaine, but I quickly realized that it was really hard to get those here easily affordable. And so I really liked that Rhodia uses the paper from Clairefontaine, but well, it is this cream color, which I'm totally fine with. If you like white paper, this is definitely not for you, but it was $15 and it was very affordable, and when this is full I can just get the next one without being broke. There is no numbers in this book. It is not a bullet journal per se, but what I decided to do is still create an index, and I quickly realized that leaving just 2 pages for the index is way too little. So if I ever get another one of those, I will definitely leave more than just a double page spread for the index. And then I just started writing down all the things that I had spread and scattered throughout various different notebooks. I usually track my YouTube and Instagram subscribers and followers, and so I'm just going to continue in 2019. I had a page where I noted down how I'm memory keeping, and this is way too much, so I'm definitely going to pare down in 2019, but it was really interesting to see how many different formats I used. I have a list for my Project Life 2018, and so this is Project Life. This is my weekly traveler's notebook. These are the unfinished Project Life spreads that I still have to do for 2016. These are my finished and unfinished Cocoa Daisy journals for 2017. And these kinds of things I want to just keep here as lists so that when I continue, I know where I'm at. And I found that I still have pages in 2014 and 15, and I want to add them to this page as well. Then I have the Shimmers block schedule, ideas. I have a Cocoa Daisy and social media planner here, where I just what I need to do on certain days or certain dates throughout every month. And when I plan my month, I add these dates to my monthly planner. I have more trackers. This is my summer journal. These are affirmations that I tend to write onto my kindness rocks. This was a page that I was going to redo, but it looks like I will not have to do it, so I just stuck it in here, and we'll wait and see what happens. And then I added, so here is the September Cocoa Daisy block schedule, the August Cocoa Daisy block schedule, and even though this is not chronological, it totally works because it doesn't have to be chronological. I wanted to make lists of different inks that I use with different fountain pens. This hasn't gone very far yet. I also wanted to write down what was done to our car since we owned it. I haven't done that either, but the intention is there. I have a page for video ideas. Then I went to back to school night of my son, and I added I just titled it. There's a number down here, and I just jot down the notes that I thought I needed to take. I have a paper I just used washi tape for science. Then I wanted to track my team, but they are doing so well, I don't even really need to track. And then I started to weekly layouts. What I decided to do when I realized that the pocket rings weren't working for me anymore was to emulate the Jibun Techo that I thought I was going to use for 2019 and I will use, and recreate the weekly layout that is in the Jibun Techo in my planner. And I can just show this to you right here. This is what the Jibun Techo layout looks like right here. And this is what I made from it. And I really like how this works for me. In the beginning, I wasn't sure how I liked the boxes to look like and what I would do here, but throughout the weeks I perfected that, and sometimes I used stickers, sometimes I used colors. Right now I'm not using very many colors and stickers. I just use a pen and a pencil, and that is it. So I had plans for this and they totally changed. So I just used a sticker and covered it up and added what else I was doing there. Then I created the Coco Daisy block schedule. This is the challenge. So I changed it up a bit. You saw the schedule for the blog right here, and I decided to add the challenge in as well. That worked really well. I am also pinning the images from the blog posts to Pinterest as a part-time job thingy, and I also use this to track what blog posts I have pinned. Then I created this little overview monthly spread for October. Really loved this, and I hope the monthly spreads in the Jibun Techo, which I'm a bit afraid of. I think these numbers, or well, let's say it this way, this is not a square. This is this is the day, and I'm really curious to see how my very squared linear person self will work with this, if I'm able to visualize the day as the square or if this is putting me off. But we'll see how that works. So I used this, and then I added 3 goals, only 3 goals to the top of the monthly page here, because I realized that I am just not able to do more than 3. I used the backside as a brain dump, and as here is my November, and I actually decided that I liked this, but that it would look much better or work much better if I had it next to each other. And so when I started working on November, I made sure I had this on a spread like this. So I have my October brain dump. Then I copied a printable from Peanuts Planner Co. that I absolutely love, which is the reoccurring tasks list in here. And I have already created a spread in my Jibun Techo that I can use for that. It doesn't really look like I'm following this, but I'm trying. I'm really trying hard. And whenever I had dates for the next weeks, I just created the weekly spreads, and I just made them whenever, and it worked. I have this bookmark here, and this is where I bookmark the week that is right now. And so that is how this came along. And whenever I had a list that I wanted to include into this book, I just started it. I also wanted to include sticker shops and codes. Didn't get to this yet. It's the lists that I have included in here are the lists that I needed, and the ones that still that aren't time sensitive just haven't been completed yet. It also was kind of the thing that I knew that I was going to use the Jibun Techo in 2019, and so I didn't see a value in adding a list in here that I was then going to have to transfer over to the Jibun Techo, because I will still use this, but more for note taking and just an idea brain dump, not as a planner for meals and such. This is another Peanuts Planner Co. printable that I copied. She has a grocery guide. I actually just copied it down and added it in here. And I will add this to the, this is called the idea book. And this will be then, this will contain all the planning related lists and helpful notes pages that I need for my weekly, daily, and yearly planning. This is scrapbooking sketches that I copied from the internet that I wanted to work with, and I have actually already worked with all of them, and I still have some left. And whenever I see one that I like, that I want to work on, I will just sketch it in here, because I don't have a printer, and so this is how I print sketches. I wanted to use this Kaweco Sport. It's another fountain pen. I didn't do this. This is my planning page for my October mini Daisy Dory. I don't know yet if I'm going to include this into my, I'm always pointing over here, into my new planner for 2019, or if this is something I will have in here. Don't know yet. And I just added washi tape and made a tab so that I can grab this and get to here when I needed it. And since I'm actually done and finished with it, I can just remove the tab and then make tabs on other places. And so yeah, the October Cocoa Daisy kits were very orangey, pumpkinishy. They had all these beautiful reddish fall colors, and so I kept the pages for October in that style. I used the washi tape because I just love it so much. I usually used one of the stickers from the Cocoa Daisy kit as a tracker for Pinterest and Instagram. And yeah, so I put a weekly to-do list right here. I added my to-do or my appointments with these squares, and then I filled in the rest of the days with the things from the weekly to-do list. At the bottom, I have the prompts for the Cocoa Daisy Planner Challenge. I have the meals that we are going to have in pencil, because this way I can change it. And then with green, I have the YouTube videos that I'm posting to YouTube. And what else? I tried to see if I wanted to, since I didn't have it as an hourly, I tried to use these lines as guidelines for the hours of the day. And in the beginning, let me see if I can find one for you. I spread it out more, and then I realized I could use this as a guide so that I can see if I would fit everything in here. But I quickly realized that the grid in here is smaller than the grid in here, and so that didn't work. And so once I realized that, I went back to my original division. So this is 7 a.m. kind of, this is 12 this is 2:30 p.m. and this is 6 p.m., which doesn't make sense because so that was 6 p.m. for a while, and then I went back to the other. And as you can see, some weeks are more busy than others. It just depended on the week. Yeah. Sometimes I used stickers, sometimes I didn't. And here, so I got a job in the middle of October, and this is where that really works well. You can see these are my working hours, and I have this time blocked out. Then I usually add the things that I wanted to do after. This is when I went grocery shopping. This is when I just have to pick my kids up. I add a date here, but when I'm with them, for instance, when we are climbing, all of us are climbing, then this is one of those boxes right here. And I set my week up exactly the same way every week because it works at the moment. I wanted to do or document in the September Simple Story, and I tried to do the exact same thing with drawing out the pages in my October, like I did in the October mini Daisy Dory, but I quickly realized that I didn't want to do this, and so this is another empty page. Here when I print photos and I started, I put together page kits, then I add these to the list right here. I thought I was going to track my work hours here, but I didn't. I wanted to track my weight. Again, didn't. And then here is another set of weekly pages right here. And as you can see, I am using these to-do stickers from Coco Daisy for my weekly to-do list. And this is from Happy Scrappy. I got 2 or 3 of their kits, and then I unsubscribed because I realized that it's way too much and I just don't need it. This is my November. Added one of the tabs from Happy Scrappy so that I could use this as my bookmark so that I can easily flip through to this page. Here is my Coco Daisy November mini Daisy Dory pages sketched out. There's the November block schedule, and then there are all of the November pages that here, this is this week right now, that I have to have here, and this is the last day that I'm using this planner or these weekly spreads in this notebook, and then I will just use it as a notebook. Here I watched a YouTube video on knitting a German short row heel, and I took notes, and that's where they ended up, and that is exactly why I purchased this notebook. I had to take a food handlers course, and I again took notes forever. And so these pages are all the notes from this course. And then I started my barista training, and I have all the routines and the shots and the pumps in here. And so I haven't finished it. I'm at 94%, so I left 2 pages open just because I want all of these notes together. And then I added, my kids have climbing shoes, and I just want to keep track of when we purchase new ones for them and what size they are and how much they cost. And then I started a list on all the week things and lists that I want to transfer over from this notebook and from my pocket rings, because I still have some lists that I haven't even transferred over here that I want to have in this notebook. So that is what is up next, and the next free time that I have at home and that I have to film, I will start filming me setting up my new 2019 planner. I have tested pens in this, and as you can see, this paper is amazing. In this pocket I have a phone number. Then this is the weekly allowance list. These are some of the, this is the August and July. This is the July Cocoa Daisy block schedule that I had here, and these are notes that on video ideas that I might want to transfer here or just keep in this pocket. It depends on my time and my mood. So that's what's in this back pocket. And I think that is all I have to share. Please leave any questions and comments in the comment section below. I have a question for you. Do you have a notebook for all of your ideas and just to take notes, or do you do that on paper? Where do you take your notes that you want to keep? Because that is essentially why I purchased this notebook. Thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you soon. Until then, bye!